You're watching Alaska's news source.
Fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror.
Right now, President Donald Trump just out with that video statement on what Utah's governor called the political assassination of conservative activist and celebrity podcaster Charlie Kirk in Utah. The killer has not been found. Hours ago, the governor of Utah said a person of interest was in custody. About an hour ago, the FBI director said they had been released after an interrogation.
Kirk played a pivotal role in organizing President Trump's young voters through his organization, Turning Point USA, which has a chapter at UAA. Through that organization, Kirk traveled to campuses across the country and would engage in public debates.
A man in the crowd told Alaska's news source today in an interview that was happening right before, or what was happening right before the shooting.
So the next person that came up, ironically, asked the question about mass shootings and transgenders, and we maybe got 60 to 90 seconds into that exchange before the shot went off. And I saw a lot of blood kind of erupt from Charlie, his body kind of recoil and go limp, and then everybody just screamed and hit the deck, and bodies were on top of each other. And in that moment, I'm just thinking, oh man, is this is happening? And my next thought was, I was praying, I was listening for more shots, and luckily I didn't hear any more shot sound.
Here at home, Alaska's leaders joining the country in sending a unified message of condemning political violence.
We just heard that message echoed a short time ago from the state's Republican Party chairman. Our political reporter, Will Courtney, continues our complete coverage tonight. Will?
Yeah, throughout the day, we've heard a plethora of reactions from Alaska's lawmakers. And across that political divide, a theme has emerged. Beyond universal thoughts and prayers, leaders like Governor Dunleavy, a bipartisan group of state legislative leadership, and the congressional delegation talking about the need to protect everyone's free speech.
We have a very polarized society, and people have very strong, passionate feelings about politics and other things, and you can't resort to violence to try to get your point across, or because you disagree with someone. That is just completely unacceptable and needs to be condemned by leaders of all political parties. And I think that's what's happening right now.
All of us is just, we have to resist the urge to weaponize this moment for any partisan purpose. We have to recommit ourselves to rejecting violence in all forms.
Today, Kirk leaves behind a wife and 2 children, many leaders remembering them tonight. We've expanded that reaction with the entire congressional delegation on our website and our mobile app. John and Augusta.
Well, thanks so much for your reporting. And here's a little more information about 31-year-old Kirk. As Will just told us, Kirk was married with 2 children.
He was a well-known conservative activist and ally to President Trump. Kirk co-founded Turning Point USA when he was just 18 years old. It's a group that focused on spreading conservative views and discussions with mostly young voters on college campuses. In 2019, Kirk formed the Turning Point Action nonprofit group that supports conservative candidates for office.
The group held large rallies for people like President Donald Trump and are credited with helping Trump regain presidential office. Kirk also had a massive online presence with more than 5 million followers on X, formerly Twitter. His podcast has more than 500,000 monthly listeners.
We will continue to follow the latest updates, including that manhunt. We're going to be on air online with the latest. If you'd like to learn new developments on your own time, you can always add the Alaska's News Source channel to your streaming devices.
And a new development tonight in Alaska state troopers saying the Sandpoint boat captain at the center of a major drug investigation is now under arrest. 42-year-old Duke Ogata, a Sandpoint resident, was taken into custody at Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport this morning, just 9 days after he was shot during a confrontation with law enforcement. Troopers say his fishing vessel was tied to a drug trafficking case. Officers seized nearly $1 million worth, they say, of meth and heroin. Ogata now faces a long list of charges as that investigation continues. And we're also following a tragic fishing accident. Learning more tonight about the life and legacy of a beloved local fisherman.
Yeah, Baxter Cox, he was killed last week in what's being called an unfortunate accident aboard a fishing vessel in the Bering Strait. Cox was struck in the head by a steel cod pot on September 3rd near Unimak Pass. And after crew members attempted first aid, he was pronounced dead, according to state troopers. Having been born and raised in Alaska and working throughout Bristol Bay, Cox was well known in the fishing community, due in large part to his social media presence, also his outgoing, friendly personality. Cox's girlfriend said that they bonded over their love of the ocean, also fishing. And after his loss, she's heard from many across the state and the country who knew him well.
I've grown up in a fishing community, and they don't make fishermen like Baxter anymore. I haven't met anybody his age with his talent and his skill and his knowledge, nor his dedication. I haven't met anybody like him.
You can see more of what friends and family are saying on our website, and we'll have a more in-depth look at who Baxter was on the late edition.
Well, the first mass payment for this year's permanent fund dividend will happen on October 2nd. The legislature set the dividend at $1,000 last session. The PFD website says that the update applies to dividend applications in eligible, not paid status by September 18th. That includes applications completed online with a direct deposit setup. This year's second mass payment for applicants eligible by October 13th will be paid out by October 23rd.
And the rain has been in and out today, and we hear more is coming.
Ooh, Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry joining us now. Melissa, some more flood advisories.
Yeah, we are seeing the Yentna River, likely seeing some flooding here once we get into Thursday all the way through Saturday morning. That is because of this next round of rain moving through up into the Susitna Valley. We'll see heavy rain there, especially in the western Susitna Valley, but also seeing pockets of heavy rain near Homer, Seward, Whittier, across Prince William Sound, those higher elevations through Turnagain Pass, Turnagain Arm, and at times we will see additional heavy rain in Anchorage as well. You can see that area of low pressure really filling the southern half of the state, but some of those bands of moisture is even extending north into the interior and all the way up to the slope. Now looking at that live radar right now in Anchorage, you can see some pockets of dry weather. We're still seeing that across parts of the western side of the city. Also Eagle River getting a break right now from that heavier rain, while just to the northwest, again, just as soon as you head across the inlet and head up into the Susitna Valley, that rain is much heavier. So this is how this is going to go for the next 48 hours. We'll see some dry pockets, and then we'll see some bands of heavy rain moving through. But a lot of that moisture, again, extending into the Susitna Valley. The Yentna River, specifically at Lake Creek, is under that flood advisory through Saturday morning, as the river is likely to exceed its banks because of this rain here over the next 48 to 72 hours. Anchorage, chances for some light rain here overnight. Temperatures holding in the low 50s, but not warming much tomorrow. I do expect that rain to pick up in intensity Thursday evening, continuing into early Friday morning. But again, highs only reaching those low to mid 50s across much of South Central. Fairbanks even cooler with scattered showers moving through. Heavy rain continues in Juneau, a little warmer for you at 61 degrees. Bethel, increasing clouds, but much cooler. High temperatures in the upper 40s for you there across the southwest corner of the state. And we'll take a closer look at the rest of the week and the weekend and when that sunshine will return.
All right, Melissa, thanks so much. And tomorrow is September 11th, a day that will always be remembered in American history. In 2001, it's the date that terrorists hijacked 4 commercial planes. 2 crashed into the World Trade Centers in New York City. A third one crashed into the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia. Passengers on a 4th plane fought back against terrorists on board, forcing that plane to crash into a field in Pennsylvania. Nearly 3,000 people were killed in total that day in those attacks, and victims will be honored and remembered all across the country tomorrow.
And that'll include fundraising stair climbs and to simulate and honor those firefighters who climbed flights of stairs in the World Trade Centers to try and save lives. One of those will take place at Body Renew in Anchorage from 10 a.m. to 2 o'clock tomorrow. Another taking place in Fairbanks at the Carlson Center at 5 p.m.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
Caring for the U.S. flag through collection boxes across the Fairbanks North Star Borough.
Yeah, tonight, Adrian Peterson takes us inside the gates to show us an interior veterans organization's efforts to educate people about properly caring for our flag.
Inside Interior Alaska American Legion Post 99, these new U.S. flag collection boxes are meant to promote proper retirement.
So we have been donated 3 flag retirement boxes by the North Pole Lions Club and Auto Trim Design, and they are going to be placed at the North Pole Welcome Center, the Solstice Store, and the Eielson Air Force Base Commissary.
She says veteran organizations often take on the duty of retiring flags to respect those that served to fight for the freedom the flag symbolizes.
And it also is just a way for you to be patriotic and understand that the flag has symbolism, and it's not to just be thrown away or displaced, is to be honorably retired.
And part of that honor also includes public education.
A lot of folks don't realize that there is a proper way to dispose of a U.S. flag, so we're hoping that the education of flag etiquette gets out there.
That includes inviting the public to retirement ceremonies and going to schools, teaching kids about flag etiquette, like knowing when to retire a U.S. flag.
A flag that's no longer serviceable has a tear or a stain, or perhaps it's sun faded. Obviously, leaving them outside in the Alaska sun all summer causes them to be faded. So if the flag doesn't look like it's in pristine condition, then it's probably ready to be retired.
That's just part of the mission of introducing boxes that will be routinely checked. At Post 99, they're planning a flag retirement ceremony on Veterans Day. Inside the gates, Adrian Peterson, Alaska's news source.
And coming back for the break, we're going to take a look at the details of this next storm moving through to the south. How many of us will see rain, wind, and even snow here in the coming days? I'll have that statewide forecast after the break.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.